What's up, world? It's your girl Lena Joe here. Hope you're doing well today. Um, Earlier today I was thinking about school. When I was younger, and I often realize and I find myself thinking about school days. There was nothing that I like about school. You get older and you reflect back and you be like, oh, it wasn't that bad, or if I could go back, I'd do this, I would do that. Nah, nope. I have no good memories of school. And I mean, from pre K to high school. None. 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 Like, seriously, zero. Um, it was hell. It was hell. I was very insecure of myself. I was an easy target, so I was teased and picked on a lot. Um, I'm gonna tell y'all a story in a minute of me being teased and everything, but it just wasn't good, man. I mean, coming up for me, I was the type of child who, people don't believe in middle child syndrome, but it's a real motherfucking thing. Let me tell you something. It's real, okay? Because I suffered from it. Kind of still do, but anyway. But no, I was easy target. I had no self esteem. I mean, for probably all the way up until early 20s that I even think I was attractive. I mean, I thought I was ugly. I just had no self-esteem of myself. I always talked about myself. I would always put myself down because I didn't want nobody else to do it, so I would beat you to it. And half the time, motherfuckers probably wasn't even thinking about the shit, but because I said it or I pointed it out, it's on their mind. I can remember one time talking to this guy and I was just going in on myself. You make jokes about yourself. And I remember him saying, like, I can't talk to you no more. You put yourself down too much. You know what I'm saying? And of course at the time I still didn't get it. It was just like, well, but now looking back, it's like that's something when a man, or a guy, because we were young, but when a guy is like, you know what, I probably could get the pussy, but never mind. I'm no. You just too damn insecure. You depressing, basically. So yeah, that's how I was. And like I said, I wanted a friend. I longed for a friend. I wasn't the type of child. I wasn't thinking about boyfriends and shit like that, or a teenager who thought about boyfriends. I mean, I did, but I just wanted a friend like that. I used to picture it in my head, like, when I was younger, I would see, older girls, kicking it at the mall or riding in the cars. And I couldn't wait to get older to experience that. So I made it my mission. I wanted to be like, I wanted to be a part of a group of girls. And of course, it's normal to want to be a part of a clique, but man, I wanted it so bad, and I would do anything to just be liked. I didn't want to not be liked. And it was so bad that I would diminish my own light in order to make whatever female or females around me to make their light brighter. There were things that I was good at that I would intentionally do bad at, because in my mind it was like they're not gonna like me if I'm better at this than them. So I'm gonna intentionally suck at it. That way they could be good, and they won't think that I think that I'm better than them. Now, of course, crazy, right? But that's the mind of a child. Hell, I even think some adults probably still think like that. But again, it's the mind of a child. That's how I thought. It didn't matter what it was, whether it was activity, sports, academics, whatever. If it was a guy who I knew liked me, but she liked him, I would like whatever. I need me and her to be cool. So whatever I need to do. And of course, I got used and manipulated and shit. And the crazy part is, bitches talked about me anyway. I mean, they gonna talk about you regardless. Hell, my hair fell out. I suffer from alopecia, and my hair had fell out for the first time, like sixth grade, and Of course, motherfuckers talked about me for being bald. So around about ninth grade, I started wearing weave. And weave wasn't popular then. I know a lot of motherfuckers find that hard to believe, but motherfuckers you talk about you bad for wearing weave. Like, talk about you. I was wearing it. You know what I'm saying? And so they would talk about me for that, and it was like, but goddamn, you talked about me when I ain't had no hair. Now you talking about me because I got long hair, but it's fake. So what the fuck, you know what I'm saying? But again, me being insecure, I hey, I will let you, I definitely wasn't a fighter. Now, what people didn't understand, though, or I think what people didn't realize is, even when I was scary, I wasn't gonna let you hit me. That wasn't finna happen. If you hit me, I have to defend myself. But I damn sure was gonna avoid all conflict if I could. Now, again, I didn't know that most of them bitches that was going in on me really didn't want it either. They wasn't no fighters either, but I was just an easy target because around like the summer of eighth grade, going into the eighth grade, something just snapped. Something in me over that summer just clicked, and it was like, fuck that. You ain't kissing ass no more. We ain't finna have it. And so when I went back to middle school for the eighth grade, I was different than I was seventh grade. That little meek, insecure chick was gone. I got real motherfucking mouthy, like real mouthy. You know what I'm saying? And it worked. So if it worked. Bet. I mean, I would talk shit. All them bitches that I was cool with, I'm cool with them no more. You know what I'm saying? Because one or two things happen. Either they quit fucking with me because, like, well, we can't fuck with her no more because she ain't bothered by it. She going in on us. Or they want to kick it with me because it's like, oh, shit. This bitch about that life. You know what I'm saying? Again, I ain't never fought nobody. But my mouth, would do a lot of japping. So motherfuckers, a lot of people's like, well, the bitch talk enough shit, I reckon she can fight. But again, most motherfuckers didn't want to fight. It's what kids do. But being a kid, you don't know that. So the unfortunate part of that was that I became mouthy with everybody, though. Instead of me just defending myself or standing up for myself against the people who needed it, it was everybody. Teachers, old people, cripples, it didn't matter. You said some shit that I didn't like or I thought was disrespectful. If I felt like you was trying to play me or front on me, I was going in. Now, a lot of it was disrespectful because, like I said, I became that child who just fuck up the class and make everybody's day horrible because you want to prove that you a bad bitch. You know what I'm saying? Teacher done said, I'm gonna count to 3. And when I get to 3, everybody be in their seat. You hear her say it. She count to 3. Well, bitch, you ain't in your seat. You supposed to be in your seat. So when she call your name and say why you ain't sitting down, you want to go off on her about you talking about me, of course. Bitch, don't you tell me to. She said when she count to 3. No, so I became that girl. You know what I'm saying? Stayed kicked out of school. I mean, my mama was like, come on. The motherfucker principal was like, we gonna charge your ass rent. We see you so damn much. My maiden name is White. They would just call me White. Like, White. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't balance it. It was like, once I became that person, I became that person. However, going into high school, it hit me again because now it's a whole other experience. So I kind of went back into that scary shit because it's like, ooh, these bigger people and these more grown like folk, and so I had to get back there. So it was a struggle, and then there's levels of insecurity too. It's like I overcame it in one area, but I still was dealing with it in another area. So but just like I said, speaking of school in general, I just didn't like it. Like I said, I mean, I was average, I wasn't no genius, but I wasn't dumb, I would do my work if I was there. But I did no extracurricular activities because, like I said, I didn't want to be teased. I didn't want to be talked about, and I never excelled at my best because I didn't want to outshine nobody that I wanted to be cool with, so it just sucked. It was bad. And the story I was gonna tell y'all was think it was 7th grade, Holmes Middle School. This guy named Dion Harper. If you out there, Dion, just know. Just know. Just know. You almost died. This guy would tease me every day. And again, this is how I remember things. You know how your mind, it remembers what it remembers, how it remembers. I don't recall having any classes with Dion. I shared lunch, we had the same lunch period and, just in between classes. But it just seemed like every day he made it his mission to fuck with me. And then you got the cafeteria, everybody there. He would just say shit. You be in line. They ain't saying nothing to nobody. Of course, he'd say something, whole fucking cafeteria laughing at you. Sometimes he would just come to my locker and just say shit. Walking down the hall and say shit. And again, it wasn't the first time I had been talked about. And it wasn't the last. But for whatever reason, it was just too much. I'm like, I can't take it. And the only thing in my mind was death. Somebody gotta die. And by somebody, I was talking about Dion. He had to die. So I remember taking the knife to school. This was before, school had metal detectors or whatever. And I was gonna stab him. I had thought about it and everything. Stab him, done deal. That way, everything would be cool. He dead. I can't get to you no more. Well, I didn't see Dion that day. And again, how I remember it, I don't recall this being that dude that missed school. Like, he was always there. But for whatever reason, that day, I didn't see him. Now, looking back now, I would say, it wasn't nothing but the grace of God. But I didn't see him. But if I had, my plan was to stab him. Now, I thought of no consequences. I didn't think of how it would hurt my family, how it would hurt his family, juvenile jail. I thought of nothing of the nature in terms of consequences. It was just, I can't take this no more, and the only way to make this better is if he's dead. Period. And I say that to say, you have shit like, the school shootings and whatnot, and let me say, I'm not saying it's cool. Ain't shit cool about nobody shooting up no school, killing innocent people, and shit like that. But I understand how the mind of a child works in terms of you being a target of someone's, bullshit every day, and there's nothing you could do about it, because people will say, well, tell somebody. But hell, good and damn well, you tell somebody, one, ain't nothing gonna happen. And two, the only thing that probably will happen if something does happen is you either gonna get your ass whooped or you gonna get teased more, because everybody now gonna be like, oh, you a motherfucker snitch, and it's just gonna make it worse. So you don't say nothing. And again, for those that do, still don't nothing happens. Like, oh, that's what children do, which it is, but it's like, that's what they do, but it's too much for me. What am I supposed to do when it's too much? It's too much. It's 200 other kids here. Why is he fucking with me? You know what I'm saying? So I get it when your mind just, the only thing that makes sense is death. Now, and I've been in that situation before as an adult, but that's another story for another day. So, but I understand when your mind gets there, and that's the only thing that makes sense. Now, again, didn't see him. As far as I know, he's still alive. I ain't killed nobody. Cool. But parents, you have to be engaged with your children. You have to, communicate with your children, because you never know what they're going to do. Not one day did I go home and cry about it. I never told my mama what was happening. I never, like I said, went home crying. I never told anybody. So if it would have happened to where I would have stabbed him and possibly killed him, to everybody it would have been like, oh my God, this came from nowhere. We didn't know. And they literally didn't know. Now students knew I was being teased, but again, this is what kids do. Everybody laughing, so it's like, well, we didn't know. I didn't tell nobody what I was going to do. It's just what I was going to do. So that, and then that whole saying that sticks and stones may break my bones, but words never hurt. I hate that shit, because it's some bullshit. I understand why parents say it to their children, but I have yet to say that to mine. And I don't know if I ever will. And if I do say it to mine and to any other parent who says it to their children or niece or whoever, follow that shit up. Don't just say it and then that be it. Because when you tell your child to just say that, and they sitting there like, okay, I said it, but this shit does hurt, you know. You got tears running down your eyes, not because nobody physically touched you, but off of what people are saying to you and about you every single day. That shit hurts. You know, another note, I've been in 2 physically abusive relationships in my past. And the scars and the bruises, well, the first one, the one, I do have a scar from him, so it's up here. But for the most part, I have no scars, you know. But I can remember a lot of shit that was said. The words stick with you and it plays in your head. And especially if you believe some of the shit about yourself, whether as a child or an adult. So telling your child to just say sticks and stones to break my bone, but words never hurt, that's not enough. You know, you need to explain to them why, you know, what that meaning is about. You need to talk to them and tell them and let them know that it's okay to come to you when, you know, they're being talked about, or if they feel like they're being bullied. Whatever it is, you have to engage with your children, because you never know. You could have a child, because like I said, if I would have did that, if I would have stabbed him, again, I wasn't a child that seemed like she would do something like that. Like I said, this little scary ass Charlene, so she damn sure ain't finna harm nobody. She ain't never fought nobody, ain't never got loud with nobody. So it would have been all out of character. But that's because ain't nobody asking me what the fuck going on with me. Ain't nobody talking to me. Ain't nobody engaging with me. And I ain't saying shit. So it's all in my mind. It's just jumbled every day. Everything he's saying just being replayed and replayed and replayed. And then you hear all the laughter and you see everybody laughing. And then even though you don't have no classes with him, but you have, you don't have any classes with him, but you have classes with the people that was around when he said whatever he said. So now they bring it into the class and they saying it again to other people. And, you know, it just goes on and on and on and on. So finally you go home, you like, oh, the day is over. Just for your ass to come back to school and start all over again. So not only do they got what the fuck happened yesterday, they still laughing about that, but this nigga got new material. Like he done went home and just wrote out shit about you. And it's like, word? Like, that's what the fuck we doing? You know what I'm saying? And you know, people say shit like, girl, he probably just like you. Fuck that. That motherfucker didn't like me. No, and if you did, well, that's a fucked up way of showing it. But no, it wasn't about that. I was just, again, easy target. That's how I've always looked at it. So, again, say all that to say, you know, engage with your children. You know, let them know that they are loved. Let them know that they can come to you. Let them know that it ain't shit that they cannot tell you. To never, ever, 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 ever be ashamed and or afraid to let you know what's going on. Nothing is stupid. Nothing is too embarrassing. Now, of course, you know, it may be shit that they just won't share because, you know, as they grow up, it happens. But you got to keep it open with them. You have to have the communication open with them because you never know what they're thinking. And another thing before I end this, you know, as parents, we always, you know, once we get in that parent role, we stay there. But you can't forget what it was like for you when you was a child. Or you can't forget what childhood is like in general. Even if you wasn't a child that was never teased or never had any issues with bullying or whatever. You still know someone who did, or you saw it going on. Don't forget what it was like to be a child. Don't forget what it was like to make that transition between elementary and middle school and high school. You know, don't forget that shit, because that's how you stay connected. Yeah, it's 2015, but for the most part, the shit is... it's the same shit. You know, my 15-year-old daughter going through some of the same shit, like verbatim, that I went through. And it's like, god damn. You know, and it's sad and it hurts. And some shit I can't do nothing about. But she know I got her back. She know I motherfucking bust a brick for her. Period. And that go for both my girls and my niece. You know what I'm saying? That'll never change. That I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to engage. They're going to know at the end of the day, I got their back. Period. So, you know, hope you all took something from this. You know, that's that was just a little personal history of myself. And also just to say, most of my videos will be personal, whether it's humorous or something serious. I only know how to come from my own experiences. I can't pull a chapter out of nobody else's book. And my life is my life. It ain't shit that I've done that I'm ashamed of. It ain't shit that I've ever been a part of that I'm afraid to talk about. So if you watch my videos, you'll get to learn more and more about me. So again, rate, comment, subscribe, tell someone to tell someone to tell someone. All right, bye.